Ever seen a hero who can literally drag victory out of the enemy's hands? A hero who, with one ultimate, turns a lost fight into a highlight moment? Well, let me reintroduce you to one of the most underrated roamers in all of Mobile Legends, Kaja. Welcome back to part 6 of the Solo Rank Challenge, where I climb using only the roam role, the most underappreciated, underestimated, yet absolutely vital role in the entire game. Before we dive into the storm, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment Kaja OP down below. It really helps a lot and keeps this series alive. And trust me, part 7 will be even crazier. Now let's talk about why Kaja is one of those heroes that people keep sleeping on. He's not your typical tank, not exactly a pure support, and not a full mage either. He's something in between, a perfect balance of control, damage, and utility. That's what makes him dangerous. His passive, Wrath of Lightning, is the secret many players ignore. Every few seconds, Kaja's basic attack zaps enemies around him with chain lightning. It might not look flashy at first, but over time, that little extra burst adds up, especially in extended fights or when poking near objectives. You're not just standing there stunning or pulling enemies, you're constantly applying pressure with every spark that jumps between your foes. It's sneaky, it's consistent, and it reminds everyone on the map that you're not just a roamer, you're a walking lightning storm. And then there's his ultimate. That one pull can turn a losing fight into an instant victory. But here's the catch. It's all about timing and positioning. If you use it too early, you waste it. If you pull the wrong enemy, you might doom your own team. But when you land it perfectly on the enemy carry, the assassin sneaking in, or that overconfident mage, your team suddenly explodes into action, deleting the target before they even realize what happened. That's why map awareness is everything for a Kaja player. You have to keep your eyes on your minimap, always checking if your teammates are nearby. Because the truth is, Kaja's ultimate doesn't work well solo. It's a team move. You drag them, and your team finishes the job. That brings us to builds, the eternal debate between Tank Kaja and Mage Kaja. If you're roaming, the tank build is the way to go. It keeps you durable, lets you dive into fights, and most importantly, it allows you to see and control the map. As a tanky roamer, your job isn't to rack up kills, it's to create openings, peel for your allies, and lead the charge. You're the one making those split-second decisions that change the entire momentum of the match. When you're Tank Kaja, you become the heart of your team's defense and the brain of its attack. Now sure, some players prefer Mage Kaja, and yeah, the damage can be insane. You can one-shot squishy heroes if you build enough magic power, but the problem comes in team fights. You'll lose vision control because you'll be forced to play from the back, and you'll get melted if you try to initiate. A mage build Kaja in roam is risky. It might work with good teammates, but let's be honest, that's never guaranteed in solo rank. If you want consistent wins and real map control, stick to the tank build. Save the mage setup for mid lane where you can roam freely and burst enemies without worrying about protecting your team's front line. Playing Kaja is like playing chess. Every move must be intentional. You don't just rush in, you plan 3 steps ahead. Before using Divine Judgment, always ask yourself, is my team close enough? Can they follow up? If not, wait. A good Kaja knows patience is a weapon. The best ones strike only when the enemy overextends, when that cocky assassin dives too deep, or when the marksman strays from safety. That's when you appear out of nowhere, wrap them in chains of lightning, and drag them straight into your team's tower. That moment, that silence before the scream, is pure satisfaction. Positioning is everything. Hide in bushes, rotate unpredictably, and never walk alone without a reason. You're not just a hero, you're a presence. Even when the enemy doesn't see you, they feel you. Every time you go missing on the map, their mid laner gets nervous, their gold laner starts backing off, and their jungler starts checking bushes twice. That's psychological warfare. Kaja controls not only the fight, but also the fear of the fight. Use that pressure to dominate objectives. Help your team secure the turtle, zone out threats near Lord, and always be where the enemy least expects. And that's the beauty of being a roamer. You're not just another player, you're the director of the game. You decide where the action happens, when to engage, and who gets caught. Every team fight starts and ends with you. A good Kaja roamer doesn't need the MVP medal to know he was the reason for victory. You see the big picture, not the scoreboard. You're the one who makes sure everyone else shines. Here's another reason Kaja is such a smart pick right now. He's rarely banned. That's your advantage. Pick him up, and your opponents won't even prepare for what's coming. When the match begins, they'll realize too late that you have the power to delete their key hero before a fight even starts. That's how you control ranked games, by mastering heroes no one else pays attention to. As long as you communicate and time your ultimate, you'll always find success. And let's not forget, his passive damage helps a lot during long fights. It's a small but constant reminder to enemies that every second they stay near you, they're getting zapped bit by bit. It's satisfying, it's sneaky, and it gives you an edge. But let's go deeper into that passive for a moment, because most players underestimate just how powerful it is. Wrath of Lightning isn't just a bonus, it's the rhythm of your playstyle. Think of it like a heartbeat that keeps you alive in the chaos. Every few seconds it activates, spreading electric arcs around you. In the middle of a fight, those arcs might be the difference between your carry surviving with 5% HP or falling short. It's chip damage, it's wave clear, and it's a quiet advantage that slowly builds pressure. The longer you stay alive in a fight, the more that passive works for you. And with a tanky build, you're in those fights longer than anyone else. So what looks like no damage actually becomes a thunderstorm of chip hits that add up to something terrifying. Now let's talk about combos, the bread and butter of any Kaja player. The classic play is simple. Wait in the bush, charge your second skill for a speed boost, use your first skill to poke or stun slightly, and then instantly follow up with Divine Judgment. But timing that combo is everything. Don't rush it. Let the enemy step forward just enough to make sure your team can collapse instantly. 1 second too early, and your pull turns into a wasted highlight. 1 second too late, and your marksman's already gone. The sweet spot is when your target feels safe, that's when you punish them. And you know what's even more fun? Using your ultimate not just for kills, but for control. For example, if you see the enemy jungler trying to steal Lord, pull him out of the pit, and drag him far enough that his retribution can't reach. Boom! Your jungler secures the objective, and the enemy tilts instantly. That's a huge psychological blow. Kaja's ultimate doesn't just kill, it denies, it frustrates, and it changes momentum. Another thing most Kaja players forget, you don't always have to engage first. Sometimes the smartest play is to wait for the fight to start. Let the enemies use their crowd control, let them waste their dashes. Then when the chaos begins, that's your cue. The enemy thinks they're winning, until you pull their carry out of the fight and flip the script. It's beautiful chaos, the kind that makes even your random solo queue teammates spam "nice one" in chat. Let's talk about matchups. Heroes like Cho, Franco, or Atlas are your rivals in the roaming world. Cho can interrupt you if he's fast enough, Franco can hook you first, and Atlas can counter-engage after you pull. But that's where intelligence comes in. Don't fight them on their terms. Use your mobility, use the brush, and use the element of surprise. Kaja might not have a flashy knock-up or global hook, but he has something those heroes envy: guaranteed control. Once you lock onto your target with Divine Judgment, there's no escape. No Purify, no dash, no skill can save them. That's the kind of certainty that wins ranked games. And if we're being honest, Kaja is also a hero that teaches discipline. You can't play him recklessly. You have to think, plan, and choose your targets wisely. You start learning map rotation, timing, and enemy behavior naturally, and that skill transfers to every other hero you play later. Kaja trains your game sense more than any flashy assassin ever could. There's also something special about how Kaja fits into late-game scenarios. Many roamers fall off after the 15-minute mark, but Kaja, he only gets better. When everyone's grouped up and every death counts, the threat of your ultimate becomes terrifying. The enemy carry can't even walk forward without checking every bush. That constant pressure changes the way the game flows. You don't even have to pull every time. Sometimes the fear of it is enough. And speaking of fear, one of my favorite parts about mastering Kaja is the mind game. You can literally control the enemy's emotions. Imagine this. You disappear from the map for 20 seconds. The enemy team freezes, looking around. They start pinging missing and backing off from objectives. That's not just map control, that's psychological dominance. You've already won half the fight before it even starts. Of course, playing Kaja also requires trust. Trust in your teammates and trust in your timing. You won't always get instant follow-ups. Some games you'll make perfect catches and nobody will react. That's okay. That's solo rank. Don't tilt. Because even when your teammates don't realize it, your presence alone is creating space for them to farm, to push, to breathe. Roamers win games that don't show on the scoreboard, and Kaja embodies that perfectly. If you really want to master him, focus on 3 things: timing, vision, and confidence. Timing, because your ultimate is a one-shot opportunity every cooldown. Vision, because you control the map's darkness and force enemies to guess where you are. And confidence, because hesitation kills. The moment you start doubting your play, you've already missed your chance. And here's a small but crucial tip. Always communicate your target before you pull. If you can ping or type the name of your intended victim, do it. That half-second of coordination makes the difference between a clean wipe and a wasted ult. Be the leader your team needs. As you can see here, this match is neck and neck. Both teams are giving it everything they've got. At this point, it's not about who's stronger, it's about who makes the first mistake. One bad rotation, one greedy play, or one missed skill could decide the entire game. You can feel the tension in the air. Every step, every move, every flicker of the map could lead to victory or disaster. Now, here's the thing about moments like this. The team that keeps their cool usually wins. Everyone wants to jump in and end it fast, but real players know that patience wins wars. You don't have to chase the enemy, you make them chase you. Wait for that perfect setup, watch for someone out of position, and the second they make a wrong move, boom, that's your moment. Right now, both sides are staring down the Lord like it's the final piece of the puzzle. Whoever secures it first gets not just a push, but the momentum. And momentum in a late game like this is everything. But here's where discipline comes in. You can't just rush the Lord. You need vision, map awareness, and the right positioning. If your tank dies early or your marksman gets caught, that's it. It's over. So play it smart. Let your enemies panic first, because once they lose focus, that's when you strike. And look at that, the patience pays off. We wait, we watch, we time our move perfectly. The enemy steps in, thinking they've got control, but nope, we collapse, we secure the Lord, and the entire map flips in our favor. This is what I love about moments like these. It's not just about mechanics or fancy plays, it's about timing, teamwork, and trust. We didn't rush, we didn't panic, we played with purpose. From here, everything snowballs. The Lord is marching down the lane, the enemy is scattered, and you can already feel that victory rhythm building. Every tower that falls feels like a drumbeat saying, "You got this." And when that final base explodes, that's the sweetest sound in Mobile Legends. And hey, if you enjoyed this clutch moment and you love seeing smart plays like this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below telling me your favorite moment of the match.